Right, foreign dignitaries have already started arriving at various airports in the country ahead of tomorrow's presidential inauguration. So far, representatives from a number of countries have arrived, but let's find out from our foreign editor, Sophie, who's standing by at Waterkloof Air Force Base, just who is in the country and who's still expected to arrive. Sophie, thanks very much for joining us. You're at Waterkloof. Who do you expect to see there later today?
Well, let's start. Yesterday, we saw the arrival of the South Sudan President Salva Kiir arriving with Rwandan air at OR Tambo. We are also told that the first Vice President of Cuba is in the country. We saw the visuals where he visited Lutule House. And we know that Burkina Faso representatives have arrived in the country. And we also know that in terms of China did send a high-powered delegation led by one of the senior members of the Communist Party of China. We are expecting to see the King of Swaziland, King Mswati, to arrive here at Waterkloof. You know that many heads of state and government will be arriving here at Waterkloof. Some will be landing at Lanseria, while other dignitaries will be landing at OR Tambo. It is for that reason now we are waiting to see when will he finally arrive, King Mswati. And also we expect the chair of the SADC region, that is President Hage, the Namibian president, to arrive in the country to represent SADC, but also to represent his country, Namibia. You know very well, SWAPO has got strong relations with the ruling party or the governing party, the ANC. We also expect a delegation from Angola. We are told that they will be arriving at Lanseria. And then also we expect the president of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi, to land here at Waterkloof, and many others. You know that in terms of the invitations, the government has decided to invite all heads of state of the SADC region, but also the leaders who are responsible for different regional organizations such as EAC, such as ECOWAS, and of course other important structures such as the AU Commission Chair will be in the country also to be part of the formalities tomorrow. And in terms of outside Africa, we know that President Trump has deployed, or he did send a delegation, but it's more of business leaders who will be representing the US. We know that we expect other Asian countries also to send representatives, while others will be represented by their high commissioners or ambassadors in South Africa.
You said that the heads of state of SADC in particular and representative heads of other bodies across the continent will be invited. It does seem to fall in line with this desire to make it a little bit smaller than previous years.
Yes, you know very well that when you have all these leaders in one country, it's very, very expensive in terms of the logistics, accommodation, transport. And I guess the government took a conscious decision to ensure that you have a sizable number to show that indeed he is supported by many countries. But also bear in mind that South Africa is experiencing a lot of challenges, particularly on the economic front. And therefore you have to lead by example. And I think the incoming President Cyril Ramaphosa, took a decision to lead by example to try and cut costs.
All right. As you wait for these dignitaries to arrive, perhaps a final thought. In his speech tomorrow, you cover the foreign beat. Might he say something about the continent, given that he'll be taking up the leadership of the AU soon?
Yes, of course. You know very well that the inauguration coincides with Africa Day, and therefore there's no way he can leave a line or a paragraph talking extensively about the continent. We know that during the week, one of the advisors, the economic advisors, Mrs. Makaya, spoke about the importance of regional integration and also for South Africa to really focus on the continent in terms of investment. She even cited an example example, that Ali Dangote, the richest man on the continent, has made a commitment to invest in South Africa. She spoke about Mara, she spoke about Chepis, it's a conglomerate in Botswana who have also invested in South Africa, but also saying they are expecting more captains of industries to visit South Africa from the continent with the aim of ensuring that they are going to push investment in South Africa as part of the continent. I think he will definitely touch on that. I spoke to the minister in the presidency, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, the former AU Commission chair, earlier on at Loftus, where they attended rehearsals. She spoke to me about the quest for South Africa to ensure that the country takes its rightful place in the global village, but also on the continent in particular. And I think President Ramaphosa, as the incoming chair of the African Union next year in 2020, he will definitely touch on issues that are a challenge on the continent. But also remember, he is going to take the reins in October as the president of the Security Council, South Africa being a non-permanent member of the Security Council. And he will also touch on global challenges. You know, the current trade war between China and America, we are affected. Only today we heard about an announcement that the Prime Minister of Great Britain is going to resign very soon. And therefore, Britain and South Africa with strong relations, this will definitely have an impact. In other words, we now have to think of how do we play our cards in terms of investment between us and Britain. And Gordon Brown is very unpredictable.
All right, our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena, thanks very much indeed. We're going to leave it there for the time being. She's at Waterkloof Air Force Base and expecting the arrival of King Mswati of Eswatini to be arriving a little bit later to join other dignitaries that have already arrived and others that will be arriving at various airports around the country, all in preparation for the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa tomorrow.